Hey everyone, it's Dr. Detroit here. The doctor is in, and welcome back to our F1 2021 full season playthrough. Alright, so we got a couple of things we gotta do before we get into this week's race, which is the Belgian GP from Spa-de-Francorchamps. As you can see, it's contract renewal time. And we have two options here. We can either renegotiate with our current team, or we can approach other teams to possibly move up. And this is a very tough choice, because at the same time I really love what we're doing here at Alpine, but at the same time it would also be kind of cool to check out some of the other teams and see if we can get a better ride. However, taking this little team and making it better has been a lot of fun this season. So here's the thing though, I don't know if we're going to do another season of this after this season, because I know about F1 2023 is going to be coming out. In fact, by the time this video is released, it's probably about to release, or it's about to be released. So, you know what? We're currently 7th in the performance ranking, but our car has been proven to be very, very good. Plus, we're getting the wins, and I think we can probably continue with the Alpine team. So I think we're going to renegotiate with this current team, and then, should I choose to go to F1 2023, then we might do a different team, or who knows what might happen. But let's go ahead and renegotiate with the current team. See what they can do for us. Okay, so we can do a medium risk, we can even do a high risk. Let's do a medium risk and see what happens. Nice. So we actually are going to get a little bit extra money. And of course, it also expires, looks like, in December. So we might still have a chance to go try out some other teams, but we'll see what happens. Let's see. We also have a developer upgrade that we can put ourselves on. Resort point, income boost. Okay, we can't take that. Engine wear will be reduced by 10%. That's always good. So we get some power mapping put in there. And that'll be what we do. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the car, and let's also talk a little bit about what's going on with the engine itself. If I go over here really quick to our vehicle. As you can see, this is our normal vehicle R&D board that tells us how much wear is going on. Right now, our internal combustion engine is at 53% wear. Then we have these two pieces at 38 and 39%. This one is starting to wear, this one's starting to wear, and this one is still fairly good. In fact, we still have two pretty decent control units that we could switch between. But the turbocharger, the energy store, and all this is starting to wear thin, or starting to wear out. However, there's something that we can do, and I'm going to do something a little bit cheeky. And let me explain. We do have pieces like this. See how it says number 3 next to them? We have a third engine and a third bit of different things to our name. But you see the pluses right there? Let me show you what happens if I was to hit the plus. Penalty warning. Ordering this additional component will result in a grid drop penalty of 10 places. The penalty will be awarded when the car leaves the garage following completion of the fitting process. So, what are we going to do? And what do I have concocted up? Well, let's go ahead and look at the rest of the schedule. So we have Belgium. We put the new engine in at Canada. So this would be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be the 6th race for the engine. We're coming up to a couple of tracks. Some of them I do pretty good with. Belgium is not bad. The Netherlands track, Zandvoort, I have actually never driven that place before. Monza, Italy, I've driven there many times. And then we have Russia, Singapore, and Japan. Russia, I'm excited for. Singapore, I'm a little concerned about. And then we have Japan. What I'm thinking is that we go ahead and we continue to run with the engine we have now for Belgium. But for the Netherlands race, or Italy, we'll have to see how the engine fares here in Belgium. But I'm thinking that if we can come away with a win at Belgium, we'll have a bigger points lead ahead of Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Then when we go to the Netherlands, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to order a new part. I'm going to order a new kinetic engine, and I'm also going to order a new turbocharger. That would mean we would start way back in 20th for Zandvoort. However, we actually could delay the addition of these parts until Monza, because I know how to get around Monza, and I know that our car will be super quick at Monza. But it all depends right now on what happens in Belgium. Because if we can come away with a victory at Belgium, or at Spa, then we could get away with the grid spot penalty at Russia, and then have a fresh engine for whatever the next race might be. In fact, if I was to venture a guess, so if we're doing 6 races on this, and this will be the 6th race, so then that would mean if we did 6 races on the other engine, which we would be ordering, that would mean Netherlands, Italy, Russia, Singapore, Japan, and United States. By the time we got to COTA, we could then think about fitting the other engine on. Or we can try and stretch it as much as we can. In fact, it's almost better if we change engines at Monza and then go from there. Because the closer we are to Abu Dhabi with a strong car, the better the chance we have of possibly getting the championship. So I'll figure out the engine situation as we go along. Let me go get this car R&D'd and qualified, and I'll see you guys on the grid momentarily.
We're in Belgium once again for today's round of the Formula One World Championship. It's a race the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019, Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since Michael Schumacher in 1992. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes Forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners, and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high-quality racing as well. Simply put it, there really is no place quite like Spa. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are 3 main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness, and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. The scientist lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Leclerc, Sergio Perez and Norris, Sainz, Verstappen, Ricciardo and Pierre Gasly, Vettel, Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso and Stroll, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, George Russell and Mick Schumacher, Latifi and Nikita Mazepin. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
You know what's funny is that you guys saw that we were a second and a half faster than Valtteri Bottas. This track is going to exploit one of Alpine's biggest weaknesses. Is that we're not good in a straight line, but when it comes to the technical portions, this car reigns supreme. As you saw, we got the pole. Let's take a look at the race strategy and see what we have here. And it looks like a lot of teams could possibly go with the softs onto the hards, but I think we're going to do possibly softs to the mediums. But at the same time, see, it seems like the alternate strategy would be where we want to go. But at the same time, you know, there's really, I don't know, we could try the alternate strategy and put on the hards, but I think we're going to be okay on the mediums. You know what? The alternate strategy when we went to the hard tires back at Hungary did pretty well for us. So it looks like it is going to be a one-stopper. I say let's go ahead and take the alternate strategy. That would mean we would need to, therefore that would mean that we would need to come in and take the hard tires. So, if you're ready and you look ready, let's go ahead and get this race underway. A familiar sight to start here on the pole. Wish we could do the same thing in the Xfinity series.
Right, let's get the car up to temperature on this lap. We're learning the gears, so go through them all if you can.
Learning the gears. Amazing. So anyway, this place is very huge. I've actually driven a couple of GT cars here on Gran Turismo Sport no, not Gran Turismo Sport, Gran Turismo 7, I should say.
Conditions look stable at the moment. No rain currently expected.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any type of rain of any type. But yeah, the laps go by here pretty slow. I mean, each lap only takes like 2 minutes to get around here at most. But we need to have a good start here to keep ourselves up in the front. So you can see behind us, there's Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton behind us, Leclerc and Perez. And hopefully Leclerc has a good start. You guys heard in the package earlier that Leclerc got his first win here, and it was actually when his friend Antoine Hubert ended up crashing up there at El Rouge, which El Rouge is that big uphill climb that we did. Also, to let you guys know, we did get some improvements. The fuel injector sadly failed, and I will say this: with the fact that our engine is slightly worn at this point, I was very surprised to see like how well this car would still perform on these tight corners. But you can see as we do our reconnaissance lap that this place will fit into the wheelhouse of the Alpine pretty well. So we'll see how this goes. And we'll see if the hard tires are going to be the way to go. I did not test on them. I ended up practicing on the softs and the mediums. So I'm quite curious to see exactly how they're going to run. But this is going to be a very important part right here. This chicane is going to be a tremendous pain in the butt towards the end of the race. But now here we go. Everybody is going to get situated here, and then we'll wait for the 5 lights. Getting a little burn out there to get some heat in the tires. Let's see what we can do and see if we can get away from these guys. See what'll happen here.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch.
Yep, and the green flag is waving there, which means we're going to be good to go. Here come the lights. Here we go. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And it's go, go, go! A blistering start here on the first lap as we make it down to turn 1. Kinda bucked it up a little bit there.
We're monitoring some wear on the ICE. Be aware that we will start to see a loss of power.
Uh-oh. So that's where we're going to have some problems, is that in the internal combustion engine. This is definitely going to be the last race that we do something with. Here comes Lewis Hamilton down to the inside, trying to make a move. We're about to become the meat in a Mercedes-Benz sandwich, but let's see if we can head them off at the pass. They're going to go 3 wide into the corner. Hard braking there as something goes wrong with Lewis Hamilton. I don't know what happened there, but we had to do what we had to do. But we were able to actually get ahead of them, which was very important for us. And there's now Charles Leclerc, currently in 3rd place. God, I don't know how we were able to get through there, but I think I don't know if Lewis Hamilton has damage or whatnot, but I know that we were almost the meat in the Mercedes sandwich. You can actually see that our car is struggling a little bit to get up to speed, but we're doing okay right now. Because like I said, these technical portions of the track is where we're actually gaining the most ground. Plus, as we start to continue forward, we should be okay. Currently have a 1.5 second lead almost on Valtteri Bottas, which is slowly closing down. But I think after hearing that first message from my crew chief over there, I think we are definitely going to need to change the ICE at the next race when we go to the Netherlands. We come out of the final corner and we will take the first lap. So we'll lead that one and put up a nice fast speed. As you can see, these very tight portions of the track are perfect for cars that have a higher downforce. Now, I mentioned about El Rouge. Well, this is El Rouge right here. This is the old version of El Rouge because they actually just redid it recently. They actually redid it recently in real life, and so now it's a little bit different. I haven't fully seen it. But also, this was the race where this was the track where the infamous Belgian GP just a few years ago only completed 3 laps, and they called it an official race after a deluge of water came down. Thankfully, though, we will not need to worry about rain, and we can just continue our path to glory here. We need to come out of this race with a win, because then once we take the engine penalty coming to Zandvoort, then if we have a bad race at Zandvoort, it's not going to hurt us too bad, because then I know Monza is going to be a lot of fun. So it looks like we'll have to be forced in terms of hands when it comes to there. So now we make our way through the corners, nice and tidy through there. As you can see, we are going purple again. Let's see how the car is down the straightaway. You can see that, yeah, you can actually see the wear starting to show on this car. But be that as it may, we should still be in good competition, especially with everything that is going on here with these corners. As now we make it through the final chicane, and now the DRS will be activated.
DRS will be enabled this lap.
Oh, Bottas got the fastest lap. And I think it's because he's got a little bit better car, so we're going to use a little bit of our overtake to kind of try and get away from him. We're actually out of the DRS range, which is good news. So he won't have to deal with us. We won't have to deal with him. But that's gonna be a shame that we're gonna possibly lose the fastest lap award for this one, which means that Bottas would get the extra point. But that's okay, because there's still plenty of races where we can get that fastest lap and you know, put some good points on the board. Ooh, that corner is super tight. Oh, don't want to over rev the engine too much. But that portion of the track we kind of got a little bit messed up on. I can see Valtteri Bottas coming up behind us. But let's see if we can lose him in these corners. Yeah, you can see right there that our gap is now back up to about a second over him. Let's try not to cause any more problems. I mean, it's too late to go back and, you know, get a new engine or something. As you can see, we've gone red in this sector. So let's see if we can do anything here in the third sector. See if there's some way that we can get that position back, but I highly doubt we can, because of the way our engine is right now. Whoa, a little messy there. Let's see if we can do a little bit better here in this corner. Oh, nice and... oh, yeah, we charged it in there. Alright, come on, buddy. Okay, let's see how this goes. Okay, so a little bit better.
Okay, clear.
A little bit better on that. Seems like there was a yellow flag in that sector. I'm not sure what that was all about.
You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 per lap.
Nice. So we are now...
Some information on Vettel. They are out of the race.
oh no! That is the, that is one of the Aston Martins. So Sebastian Vettel out of the Grand Prix. Too bad. Too bad. Even after that great finish they had last week, or the last time that we raced, which was back at Hungary, I think it was. Yeah, probably should have gotten a better engine for this race, but I really thought that we needed to stretch the engine out a little bit, so definitely at Zandvoort we're going to take the grid penalty. And most likely, we'll just take the 1 grid penalty, because if I decide to... maybe we'll take 2 grid penalties, because then that'll equal 20 positions, which means that we would end up starting last, but I don't know if I want to do that. We'll have to check the wear on the turbo and see what I decide from there, because let's see if we can bring up... dang it. Let's flash back a little bit. Let's get right to here, so we can get a better deal. I mean, I'm not 100% sure what we are going to do, because I did say that we were going to change the engine, but I don't know if we should change the turbocharger as well, or let that do its thing. But yeah, the engine is the heart of the beast. But we'll see. We'll see when we get to Zandvoort. I mean, it's a pretty small track, but at the same time, we need to be careful. And hopefully we don't get a blown engine, because that's one of the worst things that could happen to us. Ooh! Nice! So we have just taken the fastest lap award away from Valtteri Bottas at the current stage of this race. I heard somebody react, and it looks like something went wrong back there, because there's a gap. See that? See that gap down there on the left side of the screen? Looks like it's somewhere closer to the back, so something went wrong. But right now we have a 2.5 second lead ahead of Valtteri Bottas, and I'm thinking that we're going to possibly stretch it out. So what I'm thinking is that when it becomes our time to pit, we're going to stay out one more lap and see what happens. If Bottas comes in along with everybody else to take the hards, then we'll know that he's on the same strategy as us. However, if we see a bunch of cars that are going to take the mediums, I have a feeling that some that can't manage their tire wear very well are going to start to struggle again. But struggling, not as bad as they did it at Hungary, but I don't know. We'll have to see, because again, I've not done too many races here at Spa with tire strategies. So, in fact, last time that I did a race here at Spa was back in F1 2014 off camera, when I was driving a Caterham. Ended up winning that race in a pretty fluke fashion. So currently Bottas is second, Hamilton is third, Leclerc still fourth, and Perez is still fifth. Let's hope that those Red Bulls can stay, can stay up there and not have any issues.
Seconds.
Well, it's mainly because that he's way in the back there. Also, I think we might be able to change the event gearbox after this race, so that'll be good news for us. It'll be very good news for us. In fact, let's take a look at the wear indicators here and see what we got. It's this one. Yeah, you can see that the internal combustion engine is really...
Be careful, we think you're going to start losing some tire grip around now.
Okay, thank you for that. You can actually see that we're starting to lose quite a bit of power here, and in fact, all of our components are really starting to show their wear. But I think the ICE and the turbocharger are exactly what we're going to need to change. Everything else, I think, can last one more race, and then with those, we should be able to change them without any issues. Because I think some of those, we already have a couple of them. In fact, we could even... The TC, which I believe is the turbocharger, we're going to have to change. The control unit's at 30%. I don't know, we might actually change back to the original one, the first one that we had. because it's not... Actually, we don't even have to really change that, because look at that. It's actually wearing just fine. So I think it's just only 2 components that we need to worry about before we get to Zandvoort and before we get to Monza. Because if we had to take another grid penalty of some sort, I would much prefer it if we did it maybe Japan?
We're gonna box this lap. Push hard on the in lap.
I'm not 100% sure. Alright, so now our tire window has opened up. So this is going to be interesting to see who's going to come in. Are we going to stretch it out, or are they going to come in with us? And I'm starting to see... Let's see. I don't see anybody else coming to pit road just yet, so I think they're going to come in a little bit afterwards. So let's just be careful with the in-lap and see what happens, because I think once the pit stops are done, we should maintain a 4-second gap ahead of Valtteri Bottas and Hamilton, who currently are just in a zip code of their own back there. I don't think I want to add more downforce. I think the downforce is fine, it's just we're losing grip on these softs. God, just look at that train. Highly doubt we're going to lap anybody in this race, because the track is a little too big for that. I mean, we'll definitely see some lap cars at Zandvoort, or Zandvoort. I don't even know how you would say it. Somebody's going to have to correct me in the comments section below. But now here we go, where we're coming back towards the start-finish line to get the hard tires on. And because we have this magnificent gap ahead of Valtteri Bottas, we should be able to maintain that after we come into pit road. So here we go. Hard braking, and now here we go to pit road. Up here. Ooh, almost lost control there. But here we come to pit road. Let's see who else comes in. Oh, looks like the Mercedes cars are going to double stack. No! Bottas does not come in. So Bottas will stay out. Hamilton stays out. A couple of other cars are coming in back here behind me. Off go the softs, on go the hards. Saints was in pit road, it looked like. But let's get back out there. So we're going to rejoin somewhere near the back.
Pit strategy complete. See these tires through to the end now.
Alright, so we're back here in 9th. But remember, the front 9 cars still need to come to pit road, so it'll balance out once they come to pit road, and we got to be careful with these new tires, because yikes, in a way, I almost lost control of the vehicle. So we need to get some heat in these tires as best we can. Which the hards are a little tricky to get some heat built up because of the way that they're made. Also, this will give us an idea as to how well this car handles on the hards, but also if we can catch up to some of these guys. I also had some questions about the tires. The game, as well as the FIA, determine what tires that they're going to run with here at Spa and also at all the other tracks. So there might be times where they might say run the softs and then go to the hards, or run hards and then go to the softs. However, you wanna use your fastest tire first, it seems. So right now we're catching up to Daniel Ricciardo, and we're catching up to Carlos Sainz here. But I think these guys, let's see how we're doing here, and you can see that we're not quite catching them because of our engine laying down a bit. But now here comes the Mercedes-Benz crew. They're coming into pit road, except for one. Let's see how we do here. Make it nice and tidy through here. Oh boy! Wow, that was a little bit awkward. But now we got DRS as more cars come to pit road. There's Carlos Sainz in front of us. We should be able to pass him here in a sec. Fernando's in the pits.
Fernando's in the pits. Gap to teammate behind is 8.3 seconds.
Alright, let's see if we can catch up here to Carlos Sainz. See if we can make a pass coming up here through El Rouge. We're going to have the DRS enabled. There we go. DRS is now enabled. Here we go, right up to the back tail section. Go to the bottom of the track. Almost touched the grass. Hey, check it out. We almost touched grass. So hey, for anybody that was telling me as a joke, hey, go touch grass, we just kind of did that just now. So booyah. Anyway, Sergio Perez is still ahead of us, and so is Valtteri Bottas. So it looks like that they'll be coming in next time by. So by the time we get back to them, it should just put us back into the race lead. So right now we don't have to worry about anything. Currently third. Don't need to worry. You see, we went absolutely. We went purple. I mean, we went Dimetap purple pretty much. Oh man, Dimetap. That was an old childhood thing. Remember, you used to get Dimetap to like go to sleep or like to take care of or having a cough.
In front is 5.1 seconds.
See if we can make a little. See if we can make something happen here. Valtteri Bottas looks like he's coming to pit road. Should see Sergio Perez come in this time. So let's see how we do here as we come off the corner. Now the big question is, are we going to beat Valtteri Bottas off pit road? We should, and we do. So now let's see if I was right and see if we have like I'm guessing probably a 7 to 10 second lead ahead of him. But let's see how this all comes out. Lewis Hamilton is now starting to work his way up. I think he's possibly going to bonsai his teammate, or he's probably going to stay in third. Let's see. And he's going to stay third with Bottas with a 6.5 second lead. So we have a 6.5 second lead ahead of Valtteri Bottas. And it looks like we're the only ones that are on the harder tires. So that means we are definitely going to be the slower car, but it's going to even out because the mediums are going to wear out faster than the hards. So we might actually be the champions here with this. And again, I don't care if they're, right behind me. As long as we beat them at their own game, then at the next race, we should have a big enough advantage to where if we have more problems at Zandvoort, we should still hold on to the points lead, because we need to be at least a full race ahead of Bottas and Hamilton. And this race should help us. And I say should because my math is a little sketchy when it comes to this point standings, especially with what we have so far. Anyway, the gap is currently about 6.1 seconds behind, with Valtteri Bottas second, Lewis Hamilton third. Sergio Perez has leapfrogged Charles Leclerc for fourth and fifth. You can see nice open track here in front of us. And still got a good lead ahead of everybody. We continue around here as we work lap 11 of 22. That means we have at least 11 laps to go. Now this race doesn't seem that long, but you know what? It does feel long when you're driving here. Right, let's get through El Rouge. Nice and easy through here. I've actually seen many people cut through there, and the FIA actually does have some regulations, but I do have shortcuts turned down, so we'll still get a warning if we end up going a little too far over. But if this was Gran Turismo 7, that would have been a 3-second penalty for possibly going over the track limits, and possibly a 1.5 second penalty for existing. Right now, anybody who plays Gran Turismo 7 or is watching this is probably saying, why is that true? But I'll tell you what, this car is doing really good. I really like the handling of this. The setup that I actually put underneath this car is actually from another YouTuber that I won't say the name of, but this setup was pretty good. It's a high downforce setup, but it's also kind of soft when it comes to the suspension and everything. So we now go purple. Man, we were red in Sector 1, purple in Sector 2. Let's see if we can make it purple in Sector 3 and see if we can possibly solidify that fastest lap, because then that would mean 6 fastest laps in a row, especially with this very same engine. Let's see, get through that turn just fine, nice and easy. Hit the overtake. Let's see what happens here with this. There we go.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race.
And that's on hard tires, by the way, folks. That's on the hards. It just shows that this car is slowly getting faster every time that we put some new upgrades underneath here. In fact, I know that we have some upgrades that are going to be coming to durability and things like that, but I just want to get a little bit better in terms of the top speed. And let's see, something's up. What's going on? Is it just telling us about the... Yep, I thought so. Yeah, the ICE is starting to show some wear. So yeah, that just means that we're going to have to change it before we get to Zandvoort. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, wait a minute, you already have that. Why not just go to the one you already have available and not take the grid penalty? Ah, well, here's where this works into my hands. It's better to take the grid penalty now rather than at the championship race, because what happens if let's say we took the grid penalty at the very end of the season and we didn't have such a good race? That would hand the championship to possibly Bottas or Hamilton, depending on where the points stack up. So it's better to minimize a penalty as much as we can, and change parts earlier in the season, or at least catch it so that we don't have to worry about going to the back or anything. Because right now a lot of our components are starting to show their wear, but it's mostly the ICE, which is the engine. When we change the engine, we're going to go to a turbocharger as well, so you know what? I might as well go ahead and take the 20 grid spot penalty when we get to Zandvoort, so we can just go from the back and go to the front. Ooh, wowzers! We almost went backwards first, but wow, that car really got upset there. Jesus. That was crazy. I was not expecting the rear end to just suddenly kick out like that. I'm starting to think that earlier I said we may not be able to lap any cars. I think we might actually get up and lap Mazepin. But he's he's half a country away. So right now, don't need to worry about anything. Just be nice and tidy through here. And I think this would also mean that we would get our 6th win in a row, because we started winning and doing all this back at Canada with this very engine and everything. Keeping ourselves nice and easy through here. And now we'll make our way into the chicane. Nice. Through there, and then another left, and now hit it. That time we were definitely not that fast, because we are about a second off. I heard the crowd react again, so I don't know if that means that somebody's got a problem or what's going on, but you can see the gaps forming right down there on the map. Alright, let's see how we do here. Okay, yeah, just had to take it as straight as possible. Yeah, that engine is giving me some problems. But it shouldn't blow up, because we're not at the danger zone. I mean, we're in the danger zone right now, but it shouldn't blow up. We'll just have to change the motor out when we get done here. Take it nice and firm through here. And you also can start to see that the drivers that are on the mediums are actually starting to fall back a little bit. And it looks like there was a pass there, as now Verstappen has taken over Charles Leclerc, which is kind of cool. So put the 2 Red Bull cars in 4th and 5th, and then you got one lone Alpine up here leading the way, and in a very bad motor. It's funny, because if we didn't have all those issues at Baku, and we had not gotten involved in any of those incidences and stuff, I think we could have come away there with points. But because we had 2 races where we did not score points, we want to make sure that we win enough to negate those in our whole thing, in our whole career mode. Whoa, don't want to go too low on that. The gearbox is still fine. I don't even know if we're going to need to change it or not. I'm not using my overtake too much right now, just because there's really no reason to use it at this point. I mean, now everybody's lap times are starting to fall off. Everybody's tires are starting to wear in. So, no need to really worry too much about it. I'll only use it if I feel like we absolutely need to. But now we have a 12-second lead ahead of Valtteri Bottas, and then a 17-second lead ahead of Lewis Hamilton. But I'll tell you, Perez is starting to close the gap a little bit on Lewis Hamilton. So, could we see a Red Bull go in there and screw up Hamilton? I'll tell you one thing, though. The best time to see Bottas and Hamilton is when you can beat them. Keeping it nice and easy through here. Easy does it. There we go. This car is starting to feel a little tight, but I think right now it's okay. The tightness I can handle. Easy through there. Now come through these corners. And you know what's even cooler too is that Spa is on almost every F1 game, but there's a chance that this track could possibly lose its date in the very near future. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But I know that this, along with some other tracks, are switching around dates, or they are waiting to see if they're going to be a part of the 2024 calendar, which I do hope this place stays on the calendar, because this place is a lot of fun, and it's also very historic too. I'm starting to really like this. I'm starting to really like this track a lot as we continue to dominate here. And man, did you guys see that? A green sector 1, purple sector 2, and then red sector 3. And you can see that we're slowly getting the gap open here. We're slowly getting the gap, you know, more open here. Wow, that rear end just, whew, that rear end just wanted to kick out. But we're okay. We're totally good. As we hit lap 16 of 22. I did some testing at Zandvoort, and I really think that our car is going to be really good there, because that, in fact, to be honest, I'm now starting to think of something. Zandvoort doesn't have too many big straightaways. It has a lot of technical corners, and as we've seen, the Alpine is good that way. Maybe taking the 20 grid spot penalty is not a bad idea over there. And then as the race continues, as we continue to move our way up, we should find ourselves in a good position. That could work. That absolutely could work. Oh boy. Let's get through these chicanes right here. I'll tell you one thing. These chicanes always were a problem, and always have been a problem in the Gran Turismo area, because this is where the most incidences have taken place, especially in iRacing as well. Because I've seen plenty of action and plenty of cars go off of here.
The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap.
0.3 a lap. Nice. Yeah, we're starting to open the gap a bit more, which is awesome. I mean, look at that, 192 miles an hour, and I think some of those other cars are, you know, hitting like maybe 205 or something. That's probably because they got the better engines than we do. But I'm not even sure if they changed motors or whatnot, but it looks like a lot of these teams seem to be sucking a little bit on the technical portions of this track. Now, I keep saying technical portions. Let me explain what that is.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Thank you. So anyway, the technical portions of the track. The technical portions of the track are like these tighter corners here and all these other places where you kind of need a little bit of skill, a little bit of aero, and a little bit of luck to get through them. Maybe a little bit of Jesus too. As we go through, so this is kind of technical right here, because this is where our car messes up. This is where our car kind of falls flat. But then we get to something like this, where we can actually take it nice and tidy through there. Then we can get through better than some of the other cars that are out there. So we still have about a 13.5 second lead ahead of Valtteri Bottas, as we now hit lap 18 of 22. Nice and easy through El Rouge. You know, I'm also thinking too, when we get to Singapore, we should be good there. But the last time that we went to a street race, which was Monaco and Baku, we had some big problems there. But Singapore is a tiny bit wider than Baku. It doesn't have any stupid areas, so. It doesn't have any stupid areas where we have to flick it to one side or anything like that. In fact, that's something. If we end up doing another season and I can change the calendar around a little bit, I might make a few changes and maybe drop a few things from the calendar. But who knows? Whoa, easy does it there. We're starting to get on that green portion right there, which is fine. We can run on that. Just gotta make sure that when we pass cars that you don't run over it too much. But look at this. The hard tires are really paying off. Now, it may not be the case every time, because I'm not even sure what kind of tires they're going to make us use at Zandvoort. But right now, I'm pretty impressed with the way that these tires are holding up, and doing so well, too. I have a feeling that the medium tires are really starting to wear out. But so far, it looks like Sebastian Vettel's the only car out of this race.
Our teammate by 46.6 seconds.
Jeez. So our teammate's probably somewhere way back there. In fact, he's probably down there somewhere. Probably like right there by number 3.
There's 4 laps of fuel remaining.
Yeah, we're gonna be really tight on fuel here, but you may have noticed that they don't refuel anymore. That was to eliminate the use of it. But what you have to do now is that when you're actually in the car, you can actually change the fuel mix. Here, that function is disabled because we're only running these races at 50% distance. And really, just the only reason was just so that we can get through these races a little bit faster. And that's the same way that we do with our Xfinity Series season, which currently, at the time of recording, is on a small hiatus to get these bigger races recorded. And I hope you all are enjoying these F1 races, because now we're going to start getting into the crux of the biscuit and see if this car will be good, as George Russell now falls out of the race. Oh, I wonder if his engine blew. Looks like he is stopped over there by turn 1, left side of the screen. So George Russell and Sebastian Vettel are out of the Grand Prix. But boy, too bad for the Williams guys. I mean those cars, you know, are legendary, but they're not very fast, as we now have
Caution.
we now have 3 laps to go in this race. So now we just are gonna take it nice and easy through here. There's Russell off to the side.
Green flag.
So the track workers will get that car removed, and we continue forward. I can see we're starting to catch the back markers here, but so far I don't think there's any way that we can actually, you know, catch Mazepin. So I think Mazepin is going to stay on the lead lap unless we are really good. But we'll see. What do you guys think? Is Mazepin going to go a lap down, or is he going to stay on the lead lap? We'll have to find out as we continue. Opening it up to a 15-second lead. But it looks like that the Mercedes duo are still going to have to take second and third. So they're still on the podium. So we probably didn't gain too many points on them. But if we're a full race ahead of Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton by the time this ends, I'll be very happy, because I know that we get the extra point when we do the fastest lap. And right now I don't think anybody could take the fastest lap unless they were to come in right now.
2 laps of fuel remaining.
Okay, so 2 laps of fuel remaining, which means the car will still have fuel in it once we're done. Nice and tidy through here. Alright, let's get through this area. There we go. And now we got 2 laps to go this time. I tell you, this has been a very clean race, and we had that little scare at the beginning there. And we also showed the power of the Alpine with the DRS and also the overtake and everything, which is really good. And this has been a very clean race, that's for sure. And that's all we gotta worry about, is just, you know, have clean races, have some good lap times, and just continue to get that fastest lap award, because good golly, at some point in time we should be able to outpace everybody. I mean, if we end up staying here, because we did renegotiate the contract, but it does expire at the end of the season, so that's probably where we might choose to go to another team. I don't know. Maybe we head someplace else. Maybe we head to Aston Martin, maybe we head to Ferrari, or maybe we head to a completely different team. Who knows? Heck, maybe we could even go to Red Bull and see what it's like over there. But I would also hate to leave this Alpine behind, because this team has just been absolutely amazing, especially with a lot of the upgrades that they've been giving me. As we now go purple, I think we could end up getting the fastest lap again. Let's go ahead and make that happen. I'm surprised that our little overtake thing is now white and not yellow. But here we go, back around here. I see Mazepin getting bigger in my front windscreen. Let's get through here. And now we have the white flag lap presented by Ally Bank.
This is your final lap of the race.
And as you saw, we didn't really get to do that again because our third sector was not so good. Anyway, I see Mazepin ahead of us. It's taken this long to catch him. So it looks like he is possibly going to go a lap down. Let's see what happens with this. Go ahead and use a little bit of our overtake. Let's see what kind of power this thing has before it comes into the turn. And it's at 197, so we can possibly get that to like 2.0 something once we change the motors. But here we go, we're catching up to Mazepin, so he is definitely going to go 1 lap down. So now he's going to have to pull over and let us go by, but let's see what happens.
A lap of fuel now. The tank is empty.
Oh my god. The tank went dry, and we're going to need to flash that back, because really? It was going to do that? It was going to screw us over? So, the tank is almost empty, so we need to be very careful here as now we go past him. We could almost make this car coast, but I think we're going to have a little problem here as we try to get through the rest of this field. We still got a 17-second lead. Now, will the fuel hold out? Are we going to be okay? I think we're just going to need to be really careful here, because We have half a lap of fuel left, and hopefully it does not screw us. In fact, we're going to go into a little bit of a fuel conservation deal. In fact, I'm actually just going to be nice and gentle with this car. Nice and easy. I'm not even giving it that much gas. In fact, I'm holding it right now at 166, 65 miles an hour. So that way the thing doesn't falter. Here comes Mazepin on the outside. He gave us a nice little hit, trying to get around us, but it's not going to work. But the fuel will hold out, and we will win at Belgium. Whew!
Fantastic drive. Just fantastic. You deserved that race win.
Oh, yeah, I think so, especially with the engine that we had in there. And Max Verstappen gets driver of the day. Nicely done. Nicely done.
What a great race then, and what a magnificent victory here at the Belgium Grand Prix. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Indeed. And also being gentle on the fuel, too. Good lord.
Once again, it's podium time, and once again, it's a clear win for Alpine. Alpine have seen their fair share of success in Formula One, and today is proof that they've still got what it takes to thrill us all. Congratulations to everyone at Alpine.
So cool to beat the Mercedes duo. Oh yeah. Alright, now to check those point standings, because, my goodness, I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the way the points are. We got some XP as well. That's a nice little boost.
The scientist increases their championship lead. Some amazing talent out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Often my go-to would be a driver who's managed to pull off an especially impressive feat during the race. However, in this instance, I was more impressed by Max Verstappen's solid, clean driving throughout the event.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
Look at that. A 37 and a 41 point gap. This means that if we have any issues at Zandvoort, we'll still be the points leaders at the end of the day. Now let's go ahead and just continue back to our team shop. That was cool. That was absolutely cool. Alright, so our next race is going to be the Dutch Grand Prix, where we're going to take the grid penalties. So, I'll see you guys next time from there, and if you guys want to see more of this, make sure you hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe, and also comment. And until then, take care.